Hey everyone. So kind of making an impromptu video right now in my car in the middle of a parking garage in the middle of the night. So like barely any lights. So yeah, can't really see me that well. Um but yeah, decided to just kind of go ahead and make a video. I tried to call a couple of my friends like I normally would do whenever I'm kind of like going through this, but none of them answered because it's like after 1 a.m. So I decided why not talk to you all and, put it on my channel. Uh it's not really necessarily supposed to be like a blogging or vlog. What the hell was that? Heard some weird ass noise. It's not really supposed to be like a lifestyle channel, or I don't know. It's not supposed to be like necessarily about me per se. It's more about like my traveling, but it's my channel, so I can make whatever kind of videos I want to make, I guess. Anyway, so I've been having an issue for like the past day, I guess. Like I have anxiety, but it doesn't it's more like in spurts, like it's just kind of random and whatnot. It's not like constant and always there. My social anxiety is always there, like, but that's for another time. But like the anxiety that I have right now, it's like I just have this anxious sort of feeling and all the other stuff, and I can't seem to shake it. And normally I would talk to like a friend about it or whatever and just kind of like talk about whatever with them, and it would kind of make it go away. That would usually make it go away, but none of them are available. So yeah, I get to talk to you all. Anxiety sucks, doesn't it? Like, it's like for I don't know, all day basically. It's kind of it's felt like my gut knows something, that my gut knows something bad is gonna happen to me that my brain doesn't. And it's like I felt like I'm in this limbo waiting period all day, just like waiting. And I hate that, and it makes me so anxious and nervous and jittery, and it's annoying, and it makes it hard to do anything. A little bit ago, like I like tried to take a shower, and I was like kind of like on the verge of shaking and everything. Normally I've got like a pretty good sort of hold on my anxiety, like if I feel like I'm going to have like an anxiety attack or something. Someone's driving. All right, so yeah, trying to hide. Anyway, but I forgot what I was saying now. I'm also tired, but my insomnia is keeping me up. It's been like a long week, a long week. But anyways, no, it just feels like it was so bad that like I thought I was gonna start shaking. But normally I've had a pretty good control of my anxiety, like, all my life. It's kind of something I've dealt with. I don't like taking meds because, those medication just makes you feel like just, I hate the way that any kind of medicine that affects your brain makes you feel, like I don't like that. In my level of anxiety in terms of this, my social anxiety, I probably might want to consider getting medicated, but I've gotten pretty good about like trying not to care enough to fooling myself that I don't care. But like this anxiety isn't that bad. I mean, I could still like live my life or whatever. There's only been like a dozen times maybe in life where I've like hyperventilated and thought that I was going to faint or whatever. Like it was like that bad of an attack. But most of the time it's just like this. It's just kind of this like bad sort of anxious feeling and sort of feeling down and depressed and just kind of waiting for it to pass. normally, or I used to kind of like go and get like ice cream or something. That would honestly like help and make me feel better for whatever reason. Like I just go to McDonald's, get an ice cream cone, and it'd kind of be gone. But that doesn't really work anymore. It's slightly more serious than that, I guess. So yeah, this is what I'm doing. And recording, I guess, is me sitting in a car in this parking garage on the verge of, I don't know, I'm not on the verge of having an anxiety attack, but you know. And let me tell you, it is hot. It's like, I think, what, 80, 90 degrees in Texas right now? So yeah, it's like hot as hell. I should turn the car on. But I'm also in a parking garage, so I feel weird just sitting here. I'd feel weirder just sitting here with my car on. You know, one of the things I've always hated, and I've kind of stopped doing, and you know, I'll go ahead and like say this is like, you know, power to you. Do what you want to do with your, you know, mental struggles or whatever you want to classify it as. Is I hate interacting with people and having that sort of conversation about anxiety. It's not necessarily something that I just like walk around and like, hi, my name's Taylor, I have anxiety, here's my card. Like, no, I don't do that. But I've interacted and talked to people about anxiety and things like that. And it annoys me so much, like when people want to argue or be like, you don't have anxiety because you're talking and you seem very friendly and outgoing and sociable. Look-see fucking do. Like that. I know that I am outgoing and sociable and seem fine on the surface. Do you know how long it's taken for me to be able to conduct myself in a manner to seem that way? Like, regardless of how I feel internally, or regardless of how over-worried and overthinking I am of every little thing and nuance that's going on in the world right now. Like, yeah, and I hate, like, when people are like, oh, well, you just deal with it. Just get through it. It's not really that simple. Like, I can kind of try to get through it because I've been dealing with it for a long time. And I also don't have crippling, terrible anxiety. That would just be awful. And that would be something you couldn't get through. But I hate talking to people about stuff like that, and it just turns into this, well, I can't physically see it, so, you know, it doesn't seem like it's real, and it seems like you're being sort of just over dramatic. Over dramatic about what? Like, all day, I have had this anxious, nervous, jittery feeling that something bad is going to happen. What am I being over dramatic about? I don't actually think something bad is going to happen to me, unless it does when I get out of this car. I mean, I don't actually think that something bad is going to happen. So what am I over dramatizing? Like, I'm not, you know, I'm not depressed or sad, but yet I feel that way because I'm anxious and because I don't mentally know why I'm anxious. I mean, I do. I know that it's anxiety, but you know, your brain doesn't, my brain doesn't necessarily comprehend that. So, you know, it's like, I don't know. I hate that. The point is, what I was gonna say, where I was going with that was, it's 2018. You don't owe people an argument. You don't owe people an explanation. You don't owe people a circumstance, a definition, an example. You don't owe that shit to people. Like, I've spent majority of my life explaining, re-explaining, over-explaining, and coddling information to people so that way they feel better about it. So that way they understand it. So that way they feel better about things about me, or about situations regarding me or my family or my history or past or present or whatever. Like, you know, I've broken out the Webster's dictionary and all that other stuff, and explain it to them and argued with them and try to prove that, you know, they don't fully understand this or that, or, you know, they're wrong or whatever. I'm too old. we're all too old. Everyone's too old, frankly. You don't owe someone an explanation of you or your life or the choices you make or anything that you deal with. You don't, if I choose to tell someone that I have anxiety, then that's it. I don't owe you any more explanation. I don't even owe you I don't even owe telling you that, frankly. But I don't need to sit there and explain it and argue with you about it. And if I choose to be nice enough to be like, well, anxiety means this, or this is how my anxiety makes me feel, or this is what social anxiety means, or whatever. If I choose to do that, then if you try to turn it into well, you don't seem like other people that have anxiety, and I've like watched a movie with someone with anxiety and you're not acting like them, so I think you're being, oh, okay, well, good for you. You're wrong. You don't get to tell me how my brain and body chemistry and everything work, but good for you. And that's great. And move on. I'm not, you don't owe people some sort of arguments more than the explanation, and you don't have to sit there and prove shit to people either. Like, this isn't some sort of, Dora the Explorer adventure where I'm trying to show you all the clues and lead you on the map to the trail that eventually gets you to where you need to be to see that I have anxiety or whatever. Like, that's not, no. Why? What good would that do anybody? Honestly. Like, whatsoever. But no, I don't. And I mean, that goes for everything, not just, something like that. That goes for anything. If you have a feeling, or if, even if you meet someone you don't like, I don't like them. Well, why? I don't owe you an explanation of why I don't like that person. I don't owe them an explanation of why I don't like them. I don't need to interact with them. Like, you don't owe people these explanations about, why you live your life or what happens in your life or anything else like that. It's yours, like, and if you choose to tell people about your issues or your deals or whatever, then you do. And if you want to try to explain it to them or rationalize it to them, then that's on you. But at a certain point, you have to realize that people are being willfully ignorant. Like, you can explain things all day in a million different ways. And I've done that. Believe me, I've done that for numerous things in my life where I've come at it in 49 different angles. I've looked at it from their perspective. I've explained it, and I've broken it down in the most simplistic of terms, explained it in ways so that they can understand it, provided metaphors that, that matched the way that they've lived their life so they would understand. And at a certain point, it's just willful ignorance. It's just people that don't want to see things from your perspective or don't care to. So if they don't want to or don't care to, then leave them alone. Like, again, you don't owe people an argument. You don't owe people an explanation. Like, you don't owe that to people. And it's exhausting to live your life thinking that you have to constantly prove what you're saying and prove what you mean and explain yourself and everything. You don't need to explain anything to anybody. Like, you don't. I'm sorry. Especially if you're an adult. I'm grown. I'm 26 years old. I don't need to explain shit to anybody. Like, point blank period. An example. Oh no, my lights went out. Okay, I am gonna have to stop filming soon because I don't want like my battery to die or whatever. But I mean, an example, I'm sitting in my car in my parking garage when I could be sitting in my apartment. Like, why? Because I am. It's where I chose to go. Was going to drive, but then I kind of decided I'm probably too, like, insomnia exhausted to do that, so I decided to stick with just sitting here. But still, I don't, if somebody came up and asked me what I was doing in the car, I don't owe them, well, I'm sitting here filming a YouTube video talking about my anxiety. No, I don't owe you the explanation. I'm sitting in my fucking car. Like, it's that same principle with everything. You don't owe people these grand gestures and explanations and everything. Your life and the choices you make and the way that you live it, there should be no time spent trying to make other people feel better about it. It's not their life. It's one thing if you're doing things that are harmful to other people or that are interfering with their life. If you're interfering with their life, then that's a different story. But if you need a mental health day, if you need a break doing this, or you need a time from talking to someone, or whatever the case may be, or if you need to have a support animal, because God, as much as I've been traveling lately, I've seen a lot of support animals, and I've seen a lot of people bitching about them. A lot. Like, another car. Huh. Guess they were here on this row. Anyway, but, like, I've seen a lot of people, like, complaining and bitching about, like, people that have support animals that are bringing them onto planes. Have yet to have one that misbehaved or acted any kind of way on the plane or anything that would make people bitch about it, but yet they're going to bitch about it. But I've seen a lot of people that are like, why do they need that? And why are they getting approval for it and everything? Because they have some sort of issue or problem or whatever that requires them to need it. Okay, and regardless of that, it's not interfering with your life. Like, unless you're allergic to dogs, then it has absolutely nothing to fucking do with you. So, I mean, like, again, you don't owe those people, you don't owe those people an explanation. And even if the person that had that support animal went up and gave them a doctor's note, which is what you need in order to have a support animal, and, an explanation of why they had a support animal, it's not going to make a difference to that person. Like, they're not going to look at that and read whatever mental issue you may or may not have and go, oh, well, this explains everything. Yay, good for you. Please bring that support animal onto my flight. They're still going to go, why do you need it? They know what a support animal is for. It's not like they're stupid. Like, they clearly know to call it a support animal. They're not just saying some random dog. They can see the vest and everything. They're being willfully ignorant in saying, I don't understand why people need those. Like, what is that solving? How is that helping them? Like, what's the point? So you know their purpose. You know what they're for. You know why the person has it. And you're choosing to be willfully ignorant and saying, I don't think that it's solving anything. I don't see how it can possibly help. No amount of explanation in the world is going to appease that person. Like, and nor should you spend any iota of time trying to. Your life and the decisions and actions that you make don't need to be justified to anybody but you. Point blank, period. Like, that's the point. If I can convey any other information in this now extremely long video, your life is not some grand explanatory trial of every choice that you've made to everyone that you come in contact with. That's not your responsibility, nor is that a way to live your life. Your life only needs to make sense and be justified to you. Point blank, period. And I feel like that's a good note, and I kind of feel like my anxiety has subsided a little bit, so I'm going to go inside and probably not go to sleep because I can tell that I'm probably not going to fall asleep. Yay, insomnia. So I'll probably play some more Pokemon Quest. But yeah, sorry for the long video. If you made it to the end, then we're best friends. Anyways, bye.